You've got four. You've got
Don't
four
say.
incredible women here, Andrew. I'm sure you're going
Four
to.
incredible women
Um,
and one man just here to learn from them.
no, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for giving us this platform.
Well, we've got this space now. I love this. So, and actually sometimes it's better to have a smaller group because you can really connect and you can get into some stuff and it can be a bit confronting, can't it? Sometimes when it's a smaller group, sometimes you like to hide in a big group. Well, sorry, no hiding today. So, how are we? Let's I'm just going to throw it straight open and say, let's talk. What's going on? Really going on? You
I
know what?
passed 50. I passed 50,000 words the other
Well,
day.
that's a great thing. That's worthy of celebration. So great work, Eva.
Still not
50,000.
linear. It's
That's
still not
brilliant.
linear. Thank you. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Oh, you've got an apple, haven't you, Sherry?
That's hardcore.
You're
Can
on
you do it
mute.
on an
Sherry, you're
Apple?
on mute.
I've got terrible.
Sherry, you're on mute.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, with Apple, I think you can do that stuff. And it. What else can you do if you
You can do
if
thumbs
you
up and
put both hands up, Sherry? What happens when you do that?
I've got an Apple. It's not doing it for me.
I think it might. Oh, there you go. Oh, and then there's balloons. Oh, there's fireworks. I saw. Oh, come on, come on. Nothing. What about if you clap your hands?
No, it's just in your face. Do it to the.
It's saying, "Nah, I've done my show now. I've had enough. I'm not playing your game anymore." So, Eva, that's awesome news. That was just Apple celebrating you. 50,000 words is a massive achievement. Well done. It's a absolute milestone. So well done. You happy with your 50,000 words? There's a big
You know
question.
how I feel. Yeah. I have huge self-doubt. Huge self-doubt. And yeah, okay. I was just making sure that I'm on. Yeah, I've got no, but we all struggle with self-doubt. I know that. I feel that there's a process to take in writing a book that it should be linear. There should be a time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I passed 50,000 words, guys. Yeah.
Well, that just shows, doesn't it, that whilst there's doubt, there's still movement. And the more you do, the less that you'll chip away at that doubt. There's a great saying, it's find the space between the doubt.
Mm.
And you've obviously found the space between the doubt to keep working. And the more you do that, the bigger the space will get between the doubt and the less frequent the doubt will be. So there's
Precipitated
power in
by
action. Hey?
precipitated by the agreement that I made whilst we were in Bali to write every day. If I hadn't done that, I would not be here. And I don't write every day, but when I do write, I usually write a big chunk. So I'm making up for it. Thank you, Andrew, for instigating that.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Well, thanks for sharing, Eva, well done. Who else wants to just because you can't run and hide, you can't just hide behind your mute. Like you're gonna have to actually talk today. Sorry, everyone. You have to share good, bad, and the ugly and the wonderful.
so I'm easily distracted, as you've probably gathered. And but I did sort of finish designing. I got up to 80, and I'm not sure that I want 80, like 80, they're like affirmation cards, I guess. So I actually went out to get quotes on getting them printed and boxed up.
Yep.
And I was so mortified at the quote because I didn't want to get a huge number printed. I don't necessarily have the confidence to think just because I build it, people will come. And so it's stalled again. So I asked a friend of mine who's a graphic designer if they could recommend any other printers. So they'd recommended the first one, who I knew about, and they're not geographically very far from me. But yeah, it's sort of prohibitive. The cost is prohibitive on proceeding. So my intention is to get 2 more print quotes and see if I can get a better figure for proceeding.
Joe, Joe, have you considered going for a grant?
No, I hadn't on this one actually.
So maybe look around for available grants and maybe share a bit of your story too. I don't know what your story is, but if you solidify your request for a grant with reasoning why you're requesting that grant,
Mhm.
you've got more of a chance of getting there. So try it out, because we shouldn't have to be shouldering all the costs for this stuff. Even if you offer in the grant that you're only asking for a portion of the amount that
Mhm.
and that you're willing, or that you will do in kind, you're looking for a portion of the finished
Yeah.
result.
I did look at grants last year. So a friend and I just started up a sort of a business, and it's aimed at helping people, obviously. And we did have a quick look at grants back then, which was for the business more than anything, but there were specific components of the business we've been led to believe that might have warranted that sort of attention. And there was nothing for us at that time. But I hadn't thought about it with this, and yeah, you've got to keep going back and looking. And I'm pretty sure I put my name down on a couple of mailing lists, but it's great. Thank you. You've reminded me that I've not had anything in months. So I'm sure there must be new grants have come out during that period. So thank you. I will look into it.
Good, awesome. Hello to Denise. We've got 2 Denises here. Hello, Denise 1 and 2.
Hello.
Hey,
Apologies for being late.
Same here. I let the time slip away from me.
happens, doesn't it? It happens. For a while, Sheree and I thought it was just going to be the 2 of us. Didn't we, Sheree? We were actually happy. We were going to have a cup of coffee. She was going to have a glass of wine, and we were just going to kick back. So you've all come and spoiled our fun. No, only kidding. Only kidding. Only Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
we'll,
you
we'll
like.
we'll have a special date and time another time. So how are you guys? You good? Denise says, you well? Well, we're just sharing at the moment. We're just, because we're only a small group today, we're just getting real and raw. So whoever wants to go next is more than welcome.
Well, I have all kinds of good news to share.
Great. Is there a reason why your camera's not on?
Oh, let me see if I can fix that.
Please, we need to see your face.
There we
Oh,
go.
there it is. Yay, we like that face.
Okay.
Look at that face. That's
Yes,
a look at that's a happy face.
I was so worried about those heart health tests I had to have done. I was expecting bad news, and I did not get bad news. In fact, I got fantastic news. So that was a huge weight off my shoulders that I had been carrying around for 90 days since I learned I had to have all these tests done. And I had to wait until I was on some medication before I had them done for my follow-up. So anyway, that was really great. And being bipolar and with a traumatic brain injury, I have a lot of anxiety. And I've been accepted. I've been on a waiting list for 3 years. I've been accepted into what's called Hearts and Horses Rehabilitation Riding Program. I was raised on a horse ranch, rode rodeo, barrel racing, horse shows, the whole 9 yards. And I've been away from that since I moved off to college. I haven't had a horse, and so I'm going to be reacquainted with horses. I'll be in the summer riding program on Tuesdays, get to ride for an hour. So I've finished all my paperwork. So that is very uplifting for me. And as everybody that follows me knows, I've been living in Colorado by myself without my family. And my son got hired for a job in Boulder, Colorado 2 weeks ago. He starts Monday. It's a remote job, so he works from home. Just so happens that the home office is in Boulder, so they'll be moving out. And my daughter-in-law is interviewing for a job in Boulder as well, but it looks like she's going to get So my family, probably before the 1st of May, will be out in Colorado with me. I won't be so
Yay.
isolated I don't drive. And so I spend a lot of isolated time, which has led to a lot of depression and has kept me from working on my book. And all of this positive good news is reinvigorating my spirit. And I am joining in with Lisa, who couldn't be here today because of work. But in our accountability club, she said that she's made a commitment to 15 minutes a day. And I texted her last night that I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to start putting in at least 15 minutes a day into editing, and make the same commitment that she has. And and Rosina, who texted me to tell me that I was late joining the group. So I'm hoping Rosina's on here. We all have pre-promised each other we're going to hold each other accountable to keeping our goals.
Good. Awesome. That's so good, Denise. Well done. Congrats on all that amazing news. It's been some tough, dark times for you, and it's wonderful to see there's some light, which is awesome.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel with the isolation with my family moving out here.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Oh,
Yay.
fantastic.
Yay, yay, yay. Thanks.
There she is. Hi, Rosina.
Hey, Denise, good to see you. I think that
Thanks for the text.
no, that's all right. The horse riding camp sounds awesome. It's just going back to one of your loves, your big loves. So that's going to be brilliant.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe there's a children's book in that somewhere with your horse riding and your rodeos and all that sort of stuff. So anyway.
Good job. That's awesome news. Okay, who is going to do some talking now? Cherie.
I just want to say, Denise, you're just such an inspiration. I'm so glad we can see your face tonight. I heard your voice and immediately I smiled. So I love horses. I started riding when I was 3. So to me, they're just big dogs. They all have personality. They all are different.
Big
I
dogs
have
with long
one
nose.
in a barn, a local barn here that if I change shampoos, it's just, he will not behave for anything. So I have to keep using that. He comes over, first thing he does is shove his nose in my hair. And then I'm cool. And then he is my best friend. And I figured this out the hard way. Anyway, so bless you for that. And I hope you really enjoy that. So, I mean, my big news would be I reached out and got what I call a partner in believing. So I reached out to a group of people. I wanted to find somebody that was like-minded, that was studying the same type of material that I've been studying. And it was just incredible how quickly we found each other. And so we don't even live near each other. She's somewhere a couple hours north of Chicago. We've never met, but we've already got a date to meet in May at a convention that we would share for life coaching and life improvement. So it's going to be a lot of fun to meet her. So I did that. And I'm really excited. We talk every Friday, no matter what. And we simply support each other in whatever it is. Her dream is a good earth garden, and she is looking at really putting herself out there with money, finances, but she's building her dream and living from that. So it's pretty exciting. And she supports me in mine. So this is new for me. It's like an accountability partner, but a little bit deeper than that, because again, I found her through, we both have a lot of the same study and reading in common. So we can talk about a lot of fun stuff, just like you guys, we each understand each other. We're there to support. So that was fun. I would highly recommend that. And I started a mastermind group. Again, I didn't expect such an incredible response from the universe. I put it out there, and within 4 days, I put the number 7 out there. And within 4 days, I had 7 people from all over the world joining in a mastermind group, which starts tonight. Our first one is tonight. I upgraded my Zoom. I did some tutorials. I'm really excited. I'm like a little kid. To me, this is amazing that you are all so far away. And here I am looking at you. So I'm really excited. The biggest challenge for my mastermind was, oh my gosh, it's Friday here, it's Saturday there, it's midnight there, it's 2 a.m. there. So we finally found a time that we can all meet. And we're starting tonight at 6. So that's, I'll be leaving a little early, but for me, this is all just real new and I'm really excited about it. And it all just, boom, I really wanted to do this. And now I have a mastermind group. Again, didn't expect them. I mean, from all over the world, couple in the US, Canada, I was telling Andrew one in Tasmania and someone in London. So it's been yeah, it's going to be exciting
That's
to see all
all.
these. Yeah,
Wonderful, Sheree. That's great news. Well done.
and I'll always be here.
Sheree,
I would miss this if I wasn't here for sure.
The question Eva asked, Sheree, is what do you speak about in your mastermind?
This mastermind is based on universal principles of the law of attraction, the law of vibration, and living from a dream. We call it brave thinking. We step out of common hour thinking. We study people like, and not the physics of Einstein, Shakespeare, Thomas Edison, Napoleon Hill, Arthur Carnegie, or Andrew Carnegie, and just a whole list of people. Wayne Dyer, who passed away a couple of years ago, Bob Proctor, and these people we've all studied for many, many years and feel like we've finally gotten to a point where we understand a lot of these things and we're bound and determined to share it with the world, one person at a time. And so a lot of us are going to be life coaches, but a few of us are just using it to reach your own dreams and getting there. So yeah, it should be interesting to talk with these people. A
That's
little
awesome.
intimidating actually, but hey, I'm doing it.
Good. Wonderful. Excellent. Okay. Rosanna, do you want to give us a bit of an update where you're at?
yeah, that sounds amazing, Sheree. Luck with that. That's fantastic. Love it. Oh, Angie's putting me in the deep end, aren't you, Andrew?
Oh, I said
We
everyone's
had
going to
a
speak today.
meeting. Sorry.
I said everyone's going to speak today. So we're all getting shoved in the deep end.
Angie gave me a nice little shove in our meeting this week, which was probably long overdue. Just about sort of, because my manuscript's been finished for 4 years at least, probably, Andrew, maybe 5. And I have sent it off bits and pieces and haven't done anything for a long time and la da da da. Anyway, what am I going to do about it?
Can I just stop you for a second, Rosanna? Isn't it interesting that what you used that la da 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 seems such a nondescript little, but there's so much tied up in la da da da, isn't there?
There is.
There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of stuff in
True.
la da 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 da.
There's a lot of life
Do you
in
want to
it.
expand on la da da da? Because, and I think this is important, and not to again to put you on the spot, but because I think already Eva's mentioned la da da da. She's got some doubt. Joe's mentioned la da da da. She thinks that, you know, if you build it, it won't come. What's your la da da da?
Well, okay. You're right. Thank you. Thank you for pulling me up on it. Mine was definitely definitely a fear base there. You know, all that wrapped up of there's the whole thing has been a process. You always said from the beginning it's not about the book, and through the process of writing the book, I realized that it wasn't about the book, and the whole thing has been about me and my journey and kind of, you know, issues of self-esteem, not being good enough, who am I to speak, using my voice, all those things that I think a lot of us can relate to at different levels and different times. It's probably why we're here, kind of exploring. Yeah, and I think what's really interesting is I kind of went away from that meeting, Andrew, and I had a really big think, because the 3 options were really, you know, and Andrew was so right in saying that it's just kind of hanging like a weight on me, you know, and it's true, because even though I haven't been doing anything with it for a while, it's still there. It's still, I know I haven't done anything. I haven't, you know, laid it to rest. I haven't, whatever. And anyway, so we kind of discussed the options of, you know, making a decision, and the decision being, as opposed to just leaving things to float, you know, either canning it or really giving a big push to look for traditional publishers, or considering the option to self-publish. So I had a big think about that. So I then went away, and I think what I've come to is, which I think I really, and it has taken me obviously this long, is to realize that I'm not my book and it's not me, and whatever happens to it doesn't reflect on me. It would be awesome for it to be published. I would love it to be traditionally published. And I've made a decision, Andrew, that that's what I'm going to just go for. I'm
Good girl.
going to, and I actually sent off a submission 2 days ago.
Yeah.
The shit, as I don't know if other people have found this with submitting, or is it'd be really convenient if all publishers had the same criteria, but they don't. You know, some wanted, you know, a 50-word synopsis, some want a 300-word synopsis, some want your first chapter, some want the whole thing. So it'd be nice to have your file on your computer and just flick them off to all these places, but you've got to tweak. And, you know, I think for me it's been, but I've hit a mindset where I'm thinking, okay, I'm just being really practical. I'm sorry, I'm talking now. So you started me talking, Andrew.
Good.
And I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to apply for X number of publishers. I don't know what that is. I kind of, with my neighbor, I was chatting to her and I kind of said, I'll go for 100 and then I'll review. So I'm just, and it was really, what was really great about the submission I sent 2 days ago was I wasn't tied up in it emotionally.
Right.
Of course I want to say yes. Of course I do. And I will be, you'll hear my scream if they say yes.
No.
But
Hang on.
I
Just change that sentence. You'll hear my scream.
when
What?
they say yes.
When they say yes.
When.
Thank you. Yep.
Whenever that yes comes. But it's I'm actually at a point, and God, has taken a long time, where it's okay. Whatever, it's okay. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't go the way I want it to go for the next whatever. But I feel more, I'm just going to keep ticking them off. I've got my list, I actually, my first list of, publishers, dates, I've actually started to organize, and I haven't done that before, even though I knew that it would be a good idea. So yeah, I don't know what happened.
Awesome,
I think there's
Zana.
something shifted. Yeah. Have I said too much, or I don't know?
No, that you've
Anyway.
said just enough. It's amazing.
And
amazing.
I have to say, some of you know that I'm writing a YA, I think it's a YA fantasy novel, and I hit 40,000 words the other day. So I'm really excited about that. So
Whoop, whoop.
yeah.
That's awesome. Good on you, Rosina. That's, as always, inspiring stuff. I'm glad I threw you in the deep end. It's always good when you talk.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. And that just leaves Denise, Aussie Denise. Hello, Aussie Denise.
Hello, Aussie Andrew. I don't know what to say.
Just give us a brief update where you're at and how you feel about it.
Okay. So I started chapter 7 yesterday. I'm pretty happy about that, because I didn't think I'd even, have enough for a book. So I've given Andrew 6 chapters. I'm very proud of myself to do that. And I just started writing, I guess, from the heart a little bit, and it's kind of taken a bit of a different turn, which makes me think maybe this whole thing might change a little bit, because this flows really nicely and easily, and I'm like, oh, maybe this is more of the essence of the book. So that's been a good little lesson, I guess, like just to, Sherry said, let go of the result a little bit, because it's going to change. I know it's going to change. Like, I just want to get this draft down and see what comes from it. Like, it might, mold differently. And so I've really enjoyed writing this so far. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to just enjoy the process and just see what I can learn about myself, and, what it even means to be an author, and just, my language and my, how I'm trying to describe things, get a message across, like, what is it that I have inside me that I actually want other people to know in a way that's going to serve them as well. Like, so, yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's fun.
That's awesome. Let me ask you a question, Denise. What have you learned about yourself already in the first 6 chapters?
That when I want something and I commit to it, I'd see it through. Like, I don't let things get in the way. And that also, even though I have a plan at the start of something, if it doesn't go to the plan, I can adapt. Like, I wanted to write every day. That's not happening, but I can still get my chapters done. So yeah, I think that's been a big lesson. And I'm learning more to just not worry, like, yeah, about the outcome, you know, like just be in the moment, just enjoy it for now and just see what happens, you know, whereas before I'm always doing something for a particular reason, like for an outcome of something. And that hasn't served me well, because if the outcome doesn't come, then I get really down on myself, you know, so I don't want that to affect it. I just want to just be more present and stop worrying about sort of the past or the future, just be in the now. Yeah, so they're probably the two biggest takeaways of
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Well done. Okay. Well, good. Thank you all for opening up and sharing and telling us where you're at. And I'm just detecting a little bit of a common theme, which I think, and so Denise, what you just said then was really powerful. And that was not being so emotionally attached to the outcome. The word that I'm hearing a lot of at the moment is doubt, self-doubt. And I think let's have just a bit of a conversation about it, because we need to destroy that, because self-doubt will kill any aspiration you have. Self-doubt will cause you to give up. Self-doubt will stop you from doing things that you probably need to do. Self-doubt will make you look for the problems. And I think, I mean, what is doubt? Where does it come from, do you reckon? I mean, what do you, when you have doubt, what are you actually doubting? I mean, Eva, do you mind? Because you're the first person to mention the doubt you have. What is it that you doubt?
What first came to mind just then, which I'm not entirely sure is true, but I doubt the validity of my voice, which is bullshit, because I know my worth. I know my worth. I know what I've gone through. I know what I've learnt through what I've gone through is something that can help other people. I'm doubtful of my ability to coherently put something together that is going to facilitate change for other people.
Yep. Okay. So you're doubting that you're going to get the outcome you want. You're doubting that you're going to write a book that impacts lives and cells and does all the stuff you want to do. Okay. Thank you. All right. What else? Who else is Joe? You mentioned in your journey with these cards, you said it's cost prohibitive because, what did you say? You worry that you won't get a return on the investment. What is the doubt there?
Yeah, it's just like I don't have a few $1,000s to spare, so it's putting the money out up front. And
What scares you about that? I mean, you don't have the money, but you could get the money, right? Like, I mean, I think in this day and age, there's a way you could get that money. Let's say you borrowed the money or whatever, you raised it in some way, shape, or form. What then, if you had the money, is the doubt of investing it?
like I say, I guess it's a bit like that. You know, I think that came from the film Field of Dreams. You know, if you build it, they will come, is where that line comes from.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like I doubt that in my situation. So it's sort of like I might put it out there, and what if nobody's interested to buy them? So I guess it's then the cost analysis of, I actually would have rather have put those few $1,000s into my mortgage, which has gone up 12 times in the past, 13 months or something, than waste it. So I guess it's about, sorry, I'm just trying to drill down under the next layer. I guess it's about not wanting to waste money.
So you feel like if you actually invested in these cards, it would be a waste of money, is what you're saying?
I think that's the fear.
You're okay. All right. Thank you.
And then,
I-
and then the other part of the fear is that because I've also gone into business with this friend of mine and we haven't had a conversation about it, I've done most of the writing. And then I started doing cards before we set up the business. So I was already drafting and what have you. And then I sort of think, oh, should I actually be sharing it like this? That sort of belong to both of us. Whereas I'm the only one that's sort of written it and taken it any further. So I think that also holds me back. I don't want to impact that relationship with my friend.
Yep. No, fair enough. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm just, and the reason I'm asking is because I'm trying to find a common theme, and I think that what both you, Joe, and Eva have said, and I think what Rosina, because I know you've had a lot of self-doubt, but right now, what I love about what you've said is that you've now emotionally detached from the outcome. The same thing Denise said, she's emotionally detached from the outcome. Yeah, and just enjoying the process. And just trusting that if I do the work, if I just get out there and do this, the outcome will happen. Is that, have I, Denise and Rosanna, have I articulated that correctly? Because I think here's the thing with doubt. Joe, what you said, what if no one is interested, is what you said. And Evie, what I heard you say was, I'm worried, you doubt that I'm going to impact lives, it's going to have the result I want it to have. Okay, so we can sit here and hypothesize about this for the rest of our lives. Will it work? Will it have the outcome I want? Will people be interested or not? You'll never come up with an answer for that question because it's not based in reality. It's based in it's a mythical, right? There's really only one way to find out. And I think that's where, if you can, doubt is one of those things where it's insidious. It's and it can, and the voice gets louder and louder and louder, right? And we've all heard that voice just telling us that money is, you're far better off on your mortgage. That, that the book, there's enough books out there like that. You let that voice run rampant, and trust me, you will stay stuck.
And the one you just mentioned, Andrew, that was what brought my books that I'd started to a halt when Borders was still in Melbourne. Those of us who are local remember the Borders bookstore. Was like my favorite store ever. And I remember standing in there one day in the self-help section going, oh my God, look at the hundreds of books. Do we really need another one that's written by me? And so that actually fed a really big doubt.
Yeah. And that feeds doubt. I think everyone's felt, who hasn't felt that doubt, right? Put your hand up if you've felt that doubt. I think we all have felt that doubt. You go to a bookstore, you don't have to go into Borders now. You can just jump on Dymocks online or Amazon and you go, oh my gosh, how do we need another book? Definitely. But, and again, you've just got to create the reality and say, well, my voice is needed. Eva, you've said it, and even while you were saying it, you knew it was the wrong thing to say, that you doubted the validity of your voice. And straight away you could say, well, no, I don't. So therefore, there's this argument battle going on all the time, isn't it? Well, have you heard about the red dog and the black dog, and the black dog's telling you can't do it and you shouldn't do it, and too many other people are doing it, and you should put your money into your mortgage and blah blah. And the red dog's saying, hey, no, you have a crack. You can do this. Just get going, and the outcome will happen. Just trust and have faith. And they say, well, which dog wins? It's the one you feed, right? The dog you feed, the one you listen to, the one you allow to have the greatest voice. So I want to just, because I have doubt every day. I'm the same every day. Every day there's doubt in my heart about certain things I'm working towards. And I think, and I'm going to open this up in a sec, so we can all have a say in this, because I think it's important that everyone shares their thoughts around this, because I want to destroy doubt. I think we've got to destroy it. The greatest thing that destroys doubt is action and faith. Now, action, we all know, like nothing's going to happen. You know, Joe, you can sit here and say, what if what if, no one's going to be interested to it? No, well, you'll never know unless you actually do a sample and get it out there and see what happens. You'll never know. You will never, ever, ever know. And this is my biggest fear. My greatest fear in the world is regret. Far greater than my fear of rejection, far greater than my fear of losing money, far greater than being criticized is getting to the end of my life going, oh, I should have done that and I never did it. Faith is trusting in advance. Listen to these words. Trusting in advance that which only makes sense in reverse. In other words, sitting here now, I've got no idea how that's going to happen. I've got no idea how this book's going to get written, get published, get sold, make me money, get me on stages, create the joy and success I don't know. All I know is if I take action and I keep going, I have faith that the answers will come. And then when you get there, you'll go, it made sense. Like, that's my whole story. And when I made the decision to write my first book, no idea how to do it. I didn't know how to write a book. I didn't know how to write. I didn't know how to write, publish, sell, market, promote, any of it. But it was that action and faith destroys doubt. Because the more you act, the more your voice is, I've got to keep going forward. I can see it happening. I can see it unfolding. The more you sit in and do nothing, you allow doubt to the voice to get louder and louder and louder. And faith just means I know without evidence, I know without proof, I know that I don't know, the result will come because I just trust. I have a faith in God. Some of you may have a faith in God. Some of you will have a faith in the universe. Some of you will have a faith just knowing that if you take action, you will get the result. So any thoughts, anyone want to share? Comment? I think this is a big topic, but yeah, Sheree, how do we destroy doubt?
Yeah, doubt's a tough one. Shakespeare said doubt's a traitor. It takes away from great men. Yeah, so it stops us from doing the things that we would normally do. And I thought about it, when somebody said, when I put my head on the pillow for that last time, and not to be morbid, because we all will, and my life flashes in front of me, I would much rather have it be a full-length video than a short sequel. I want to see things. When my life flashes in front of me, I want it to be worth watching in a lot of ways. And yeah, doubt is something that we all live with. I work with authors and I work with people. It doesn't matter who you are. People doubt their own validity of their own existence. You all have the power and ability to do whatever you want. And what you might want to ask yourself, which I've asked myself, when I come to that time, what will it cost me if I don't move towards my dream? So this is what I'm living from at this point every day. How do I live from that dream? So I do that every time. I'm that person. I'm the person I want to be. I make decisions based on that. I do not make decisions based on what I call conditions, circumstances, or situations. I base it on where I want to go. And there's a short story in the Bible about, they traveled through the desert and they did it at night because it's incredibly hot in the desert during the day. And what they had to do is they had to put oil lamps on their feet in order to illuminate the way, but they could only see a short distance as far as the oil lamp would take them. The rest was based on knowing that they were going in the right direction, even with small steps, and the faith that they had that what they were looking for was truly along that path. When you doubt that, there's no illumination. So it's one of my favorite stories because I think of it daily in my life.
That's awesome.
And can I just say, not wanting to be morbid also, but there's actually quite an interesting exercise, which is to write your own obituary. So I don't know if that's come up previously, but it's actually a really interesting thing to do. Like, how do you want to be remembered? So that's sort of, I guess, putting yourself forward and then looking backwards, which is what you were talking about, Andrew, with the faith, not knowing it until after you've passed it.
Yep. Yep.
Anyway,
Awesome.
it's
That's
an
good.
interesting exercise to do for those that are interested to do it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Joe. And also, Sheree, you made one comment there about cost. And again, this, I think, again, Joe, this is relevant for you. You know how much it costs to get those cards produced, but you have no idea the cost if you don't. Yeah, we all know the cost of putting ourselves out there, but we don't know the cost if we don't. What do we give up if we don't do it? Yeah. Now, Denise, Aussie Denise, you've put a comment in the chat. Do you want to just develop that a little bit? Because I think that's quite relevant.
Yeah, when you were sort of talking about, how do we overcome, the self-doubt? What are we doubting? I think looking back at things where I have been successful kind of provide evidence that I can do things. Because before that happened, there might have been doubt around that. So if I was able to bring it, then that kind of shows there's some evidence that even when things were doubtful, you can still get an outcome. I think too that we are our biggest critic. So if we just remember that, like probably what we're saying, no one else is saying. So if we're doubting ourselves, if we had the same opinion and we said it to someone else, they wouldn't see the same criticism in it that we would see. So if we can just remember that and be compassionate about that, because it's like probably not really valid for us to have that doubt. They were sort of the first things that came to mind. But I also think while Sheree was just talking about the lighting the way, it made me think of sometimes, like when the kids were little, I'd get up in the middle of the night and the house would be dark and I'd kind of walk slowly, like I knew what the corridor was like, but I wasn't 100% sure whether there'd be toys on the, whether I was going to trip up. So you kind of go slowly in the dark and you just make progress forward, and you might change things along the way as you find things along the way, so.
And if you walk into the wall, you take a step to the left, right?
Yeah. Or if you hit a toy, you just would go, all right, I've got to go over the top of that. Or, I mean, we packed our stuff away. I wasn't really super, but that's kind of the analogy that when it's dark, you just take little steps and you go more cautiously. And if it feels all right, you keep going. And then if something comes up along the way, then you can just, navigate around it. So, we have definitely more doubt when we can't see the path in front of us. Like if the light's on, it's easy. I could run down the corridor. So I was just trying to think, how could you use that in a way that can overcome self-doubt in other areas?
Beautiful, thanks. And you also did mention in your comment, thinking back to our past wins and successes, which I think is a really good thing, because when we doubt ourselves in this moment, sometimes we go, well, if I can overcome this or I've done that, then this is nothing. I think that helps too. Yeah. Awesome. Anyone else got any thoughts? Destroying doubt. Our goal? Rosina?
Yeah, I think it ends up being a lifelong process, actually, because I think, what reading and study I've done is that a lot of our self-beliefs are formed and put into ground as foundations from when we're very young, like pre-7.
Yep.
And it's a real big and some of us are better at kind of excavating them, or maybe they haven't been as intense, whatever. So it requires work, definitely. And some people, there are different therapies that you could try. There's tapping, there's all that kind of stuff. But I think also the important thing you said, Andrew, is the action component, because I think despite doubt, just to do something will move you forward. It has to. And for example, a lot of people, and I've fallen into this myself, will wait for the motivation to come. Well, you could be sitting and waiting for quite a while, But if you try and experiment and actually do the task, whether it's, you know, go for the ride, sit down and write for, you know, 15 minutes, whatever, after a while with that habit, you will find that that will be self-motivating because you've taken action. So I think that's really important. I have to remind myself of that. Now I've gotten to the point now where I expect that I'm going to write pretty much every day, if not at least 5 days a week, if not every day. And that's just how it is. It's like, you know, we brush our teeth every day. We don't think about it. You know, it's just something we do, and that's part of who we are. And I think it's just reframing our thinking about stuff to make, for me, it's just making it easier to then do the stuff that I really want to do anyway, like writing. So does that make sense?
Yep, that's awesome. Action is a really key component. When you do, and then I like that action when you don't feel like it, that's the best time to act. Because you know what it's like. You always feel better once you've done it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, how you don't feel like doing it, you always feel like, I'm so glad I did it once you've done it. And it builds that confidence every little step. So
can I just say to Joe, because I understand the, you know, with the finances and not having that spare cash and that, but maybe just brainstorming other ways of working. Like I don't know a lot about it, but Kickstarter as a potential way of testing the waters, because that's where you get, are you familiar, Joe, with Kickstarter and how it works? Well, and I actually bought a book from somebody that I'd heard on a podcast, but it was, what they do is you present your project, whatever it is, and it's going to cost, say it's going to cost 10,000. And what you want to do is you'll say you're looking for backers. So these people will sign up, you give them your story, whatever, and they'll say,
these are like angels. I think I've heard the term before. It's like finance angels.
Yeah. I've heard that as well. I don't know if the full detail, but basically people will sort of say, yes, I'm going to pledge, you know, $20 or whatever it is, or they'll say, yes, I'll buy a packet of your cards or whatever, a box of your cards. And so you would only then go ahead with it once you fulfill the minimum requirements. So you might say, this will go ahead once I have 100 people that are committed, and then I will do it. And I've seen people that have put it on and they have gotten way more than they actually needed for the project to go underway. And part of it, have a good look into it, because there's different tiers. The ones that sort of decide to commit X will get a special bonus and all that sort of stuff. But it might be a way of exploring it, another way of doing it. So
thank you. So it's a little bit like startup or something.
Go on.
Startup?
Sorry?
Startup? So
yeah,
yes.
it is. It's sort of like that, yeah. But have a look at Kickstarter. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that name.
Okay.
Thank you.
or GoFundMe or something like that.
Welcome.
Anyway, that's good. Lots of ideas, Joe. You've got lots of good ideas.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank
We're
you.
looking forward to seeing these cards very soon. Anyone else before we wrap up this morning, this evening? Got any other thoughts? Confidence builders, doubt destroyers is what we're after. What's given you confidence, or what's helped you overcome doubt?
It's a beautiful day outside.
That's for sure, Eva. It's
Very warm.
stunning.
Get out there to the naked beaches.
I love it.
I had the opposite, and we had a beautiful snowfall today.
Oh wow! There you go. Got extremes.
It's we've got an extreme one in we're all Victorian here except for Denise, who's a Coloradian.
Going to be 38.
We've got a very hot day, Denise. It's today is getting to, let me just do some conversion here. So Celsius to Fahrenheit. So today we're at heading towards 100.
Oh wow!
We've got 3 days in a row.
Look
at Eva. Look how excited she is. You have a sunburnt butt.
I love it. I love it. Freckles on my freckle.
Make sure you cover your nipples, all right? You don't want sunburnt nipples.
I'll cover them.
Denise,
So
I
Rosanna,
just want to tell Denise, I just met a tourist on the beach this morning from Denver, Colorado.
there you go.
Oh, wow. So you got to tell her that you
Yeah.
knew somebody from Colorado, right?
Yeah. So it was sweet. She was I was giving her advice about where to swim on the beach to avoid the rips. So yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
Good.
Are you
good,
still
good.
on Kangaroo Island?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look. My window's a bit dirty, but that's my view at the moment.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very,
Yeah.
very dry
Awesome.
though. Very dry. We're waiting for rain, which isn't coming, but yeah, very dry.
Well, enjoy it while you've got it. All right, guys, we'll enjoy this beautiful weekend, and thank you for everyone for
Thanks,
sharing
everyone.
so openly and
Have a good
honestly and vulnerably, and
Yeah.
hopefully
Have a great
we'll
month, everyone.
go forward with lots of confidence, destroy doubt, and make this awesome month. So have a beautiful weekend. We'll talk to you all very soon.
Rock.